Hey friends, what's going on? It is a Thursday night. Feels like a Friday night. And I need these glasses on or I can't see. Everything looks blurry to me, but I'm not seeing anything but myself. So I wonder if there's going to be anybody out there that pops on. I'm going to just go live for a little bit while everything is fresh on my brain. And I want to say a few things. One of the things I want to say, conference coming up at the end of this month in just a few weeks. Go therefore conference.com is the website. Everybody's going to be there. Come check it out. It's going to be super cool. Not everybody, but some good friends. Greg Reed is going to be there. Derek and Sharon Gilbert's going to be there. Some friends are going to be there behind the scenes, so it's going to be cool. Also, I want to mention David Heavener, filmmaker, okay? And he is an exile. Well, a willing exile. He made an exodus from Hollywood, and he makes movies on his own now. He makes a TV show, and he's got a show called The Last Evangelist. And I want to let you know about that. There's going to be a premiere. He's looking for people to promote it and stuff. You can go to David Heavener's web pages and YouTube page and find out about all that stuff. So I don't know all the web pages and stuff, so you got to look it up on your own. But David Heavener, speaking of films, speaking of movies, I did something that I don't normally do tonight. I went and watched a scary movie. I don't know if anybody has heard of this movie, Longlegs, okay? It's getting a lot of attention and a lot of hype, and I thought, you know what? I think I'm going to go see this movie. I don't usually do it. It had a satanic element to it, and I was curious what it was. And I thought about it, and I thought, what would Russ do? And the answer was easy. Russ would immediately go see this movie. He always was investigating and reviewing these types of things. So I'm not trying to... Anyway, of course, Russ is in glory. We miss him terribly. I miss him like crazy. And there are some of us that are carrying on his investigation, his what we call presuppositional analysis, okay? What does the filmmaker, the producer, the director, what do they know? And that's what Russ always wanted to find out. So anyway, I went and saw this movie tonight, and I actually... sent a text earlier to my daughter. And I said, hey, you want to go see this movie with me? And she said, sure. And she is my younger daughter, and she's always grown up. She wanted to watch scary movies. And we told her, no, you're not watching this scary movie. Well, she's an adult now. And I thought this would be a good chance to bond with my daughter. And I asked her if she wanted to go, and she said yeah, so we went and saw this movie. And I thought, man, this is going to be a good time to talk and stuff, and it actually was. We had some very interesting conversations after the movie. So let me say, what do I think about the movie? The movie was very stylistic. There were some cool things. I think the trailers are actually better than the movie. I wasn't sure what was going to happen, and the trailers make it look like it's going to be more than it actually is. There was no really surprising twist. There was an element of creepiness brought to it. Hey, what's up, my friend? Dude, JB in the house. Justin, what's going on? So, there was an element of, speaking of people that are going to be at the Go There for a conference, we got one in the chat right now. So, yes, thank you, Chris Stapleton. Shout out. Love me some Chris Stapleton. So, anyway, the movie, or the trailer, was better than the movie. There was an element of creepiness to it that, of course, was brought in by... Nicolas Cage's character, okay? And the makeup and the way that he looked was kind of creepy. Of course, any kind of horror movie has jump scares and things like that. So those things were in there. But the movie, and I'll try not to give away too much, but it's about this guy who's a Satanist, okay? But you wouldn't know that except for a couple times he says, "Hail Satan." Okay? You wouldn't know that he's a Satanist. Now, there are some interesting things in the film. The people making the movie, whether it was the director, the writer, or whatever, they knew some things. There was things what we call charged objects, okay? Where they do a ritual over an object and they give it as a gift. That element was in the film, okay? But there was no heavy satanic feel to the movie. There was no rituals. There was no sacrifice. There was the idea of mind control. Okay? So there were some interesting things in the film. I'm curious if anybody else out there saw the movie. The movie, yeah, what's the movie? The movie is Longlegs. Now, speaking of Longlegs, they never explain, unless I missed it, why the killer had the name Longlegs. Okay, unless I missed it, yeah. And I got to put on my glasses to read some of the chat. So anyway, yep, just checking this stuff out. Yeah, anyway, the coolest thing about the movie was the conversation I had with my daughter afterwards, because she asked me about things in real life. And I told her, I said, I used to watch movies like this all the time until I met Russ Dizdar and heard his stories and began just going with Russ, and he would take me to the places where the stories happened. And there were a lot of similarities, right? And some of these things I can't really talk about here, but I was able to share with my daughter. She asked me questions like, have you ever seen this? Have you ever seen this? Have you ever seen somebody demon possessed, And I told her those stories. So it was kind of cool. I've never had a conversation with her about these things. And yeah, so that was super cool. And hey guys, hey anybody, I'm just hopping on here real quick tonight to talk about the movie Longlegs. I went and saw it earlier, and it was kind of interesting. I don't think it was anything groundbreaking, and that's the way they were kind of advertising it. There were some very cool stylistic things, and I don't necessarily recommend these movies. This one, it's about an FBI agent who is investigating a serial killer, okay? And the serial killer turns out to be a Satanist. But again, you wouldn't know that. They don't do anything satanic, really, except for they say a couple times, "Hail Satan." They look super creepy. The Satanists are probably going to be mad because it makes Satanists look bad. But anyway, I don't know how you can make a Satanist look good, no matter what brand of Satanist they are. So, but it was, I don't know, it was interesting. There were a couple things I could nitpick about it. Just some of the characters and the timing. Now, the setting of the film, or the time of the film, was in the 1990s, okay? And I would say it was about anywhere 92, 93, 94. It could be even later than that because of the type of cars that were in the movie. And also in the FBI office was a picture of Bill Clinton on the wall, who was the president during those years. So anyway, I'll be interested if anybody else sees the movie Longlegs, and what do you think about it? There were things that were evidence of satanic crimes, and some really interesting things, some supernatural elements were hinted at in here, okay? And the power, the mind control, of the serial killer, and the way that they kind of bring everything full circle. I wasn't really impressed. I didn't think it was super clever. It was kind of easy to figure out, but anyway, it is what it is. I would give it maybe 7 out of a 10. And again, I'm not recommending anybody watch this movie. If these kind of movies upset you, don't watch it. My daughter and I were talking about my wife, and if she was there, like, she may not have made it past the first scene, really. Because it was super creepy. And that was the one thing they had going for them, is Nicolas Cage's character in heavy makeup and a weird voice doing this stuff. But there was an anticipation of that reveal, like, what is this dude going to look like? And yeah, it looked like somebody's weird looking grandma. I don't know. So, but anyway, yeah, not necessarily endorsing the film, but just giving my response. You know, I'm thinking of so many different things hanging out with Russ Dizdar and the time that I got to spend with him. Man, what a blessing that I got to spend so much time with Russ. So, somebody brings up John Todd. Yeah, John Todd. Russ had some interesting feelings about John Todd. He believes John Todd was a plant. Whatever happened to John Todd? Where did he go? There's a lot of mystery about where did John Todd go? And there are rumors. I don't think we can really say for sure that things have happened. One of the rumors was he went to prison. He was set up, he went to prison, and then he was released. And then on his release, he was like assassinated, something like that. So I'd be interested. If anybody knows what happened to John Todd, send us an email, will you? Through the black.connect@outlook.com, something like that. So anyway, John Todd, I confronted a guy by the name of Buckland. What was that guy's name? He was the Wicca guy. Does anybody know? Raymond? Was it Raymond Buckland? That sounds right. He was the Anton LaVey of Wiccans. And John Todd mentions this guy in his writings and in his talks. So I was at a metaphysical fair with Raymond Buckland. Is that his name? I know Buckland's right. I can't remember if the first name is right. Anyway, he was basically the head of all the Wiccans, and he was like the head Wiccan. All right. He wrote some books, some witchcraft books and stuff. So anyway, I ran into him at a metaphysical fair that I was at, and I happened to be speaking at that metaphysical fair. I had a booth there, actually. It was right before I went to Ireland. And I saw him there, and I confronted him. I said, hey, I got to ask you a question. And this guy would not look me in the eye. He would not look up and look me in the eye. Dude, I was prayed up before I went over there. Look up a picture of Raymond Buckland. And you have to look up John Todd. John Todd was a kind of like a whistleblower preacher from the 70s that went around from churches telling people about the Satanic Underground. So anyway, I confronted Raymond Buckland, and I asked him, I said, were the things that John Todd said true? Did you know John Todd? And the way that he responded really just, there were a lot of red flags. I felt like he was being very deceptive. I felt like it's almost like he had a script ready for anybody to ever ask him that question about John Todd. And I just felt like he wasn't telling me the truth. And I don't say that all the time, and I don't necessarily I don't necessarily think I'm right. Yeah, Russ thought John Todd was a plant. And he believed that the stuff that John Todd gave up was not really anything groundbreaking. And there were connections. I can't remember all the things Russ said. We talked about John Todd. We talked a lot. We talked about a lot of things, and he had his reasons for thinking. He was like, "Yeah, I don't know if John Todd was on our side, so to speak." Again, Russ didn't know everything. Just because Russ said that doesn't mean it's true. I'm just telling you his opinion. Russ's opinion changed, and I've had conversations with Russ about information he didn't know about certain subjects, and he's like, "Oh, I didn't know that." So Russ didn't know everything, but he, on that issue, he had researched it a lot, and he just kind of thought, I don't know if John Todd was telling us the whole truth. So anyway, that's Russ's take on it, and Russ didn't know everything about everything, but that was just kind of maybe his conclusions about it. So anyway, guys, I'm just hopping on here tonight, and I'm trying to take a look at the chat, make sure I'm not missing anything. But guys, yeah, it looks like there's going to be a show tomorrow night. It's going to be, I got some surprises for you. So I hope you join me Friday night, 11 o'clock, Friday night, Ohio time. And we're going to have a few surprises for you, at least one surprise. And I think it's going to be pretty cool. So we don't usually do shows on Friday night. Pastor Sean is on vacation. Hey, I just want to say thanks to all of the people that kind of stick with us. Our shows, the things that we do, have not been necessarily consistent in the last few months, and there's a lot of good reasons for that. And it's just been crazy. I cannot tell you how busy I've been. I cannot tell you how crazy things have been. And I need like a 2-week vacation. And I might get like a 1-week vacation. I don't know if I'll get the 2 weeks. I need the 2 weeks. But guys, I'm not complaining. It's just really, really super cool to be a Christian and to serve God, and to know that I'm saved, and to know that Jesus has paid the price for me, and I put my faith on him, and he saved me, he redeemed me, he bought me back, and that just blows me away. So, but hey, I covet your prayers for Through the Black, for me. As many of you guys know, I've been involved in a local church lately, and it's been a really good thing, but it's also been more than what I thought. I thought, okay, when I first agreed to do this, I thought, okay, we'll just show up to a board meeting and that's all. No, there's a lot of work to be done because there's no pastor at this church. So they are counting on the board to do a lot of things that the pastor would do. Not to mention, I am speaking once a month at this church. And I think the 21st is the next time that I speak. So if you're in the Mansfield, Ohio area, come by and see me on the 21st. We got to find a way to broadcast these messages. So, man, it's really cool to see God working at this church. I used to go there a long time ago. Matter of fact, when the movie Detestable came out is when I left the church. And I used to be a part of the board a long time ago. And I resigned and I ended up leaving the church. But I will say this, God brought me back to this church. And every step that I made, I prayed about it. I'm like, Lord, are you sure? Lord, if this is of you, then open the door. If it's not, close the door. And all the doors kept opening. And they nominated me to be on the board, and then I got elected to be on the board. And I'm just going to be Tom Dunn. That's the only thing I know how to do. And we'll see what happens. I just want to serve God. So, yeah. Jesus, precious Jesus. Amen. Guys, and I'm trying to. I'm looking at some of the chat, and I just love watching you guys chat. I get distracted with the chat sometimes. So anyway, have you seen or are you planning on seeing the movie Longlegs? It's a creepy movie. There's nothing really super satanic about it. There's no satanic rituals in it. There are satanic elements in it, like mind control, charged objects, and there is the idea that rituals were done, but it doesn't show any rituals, which I'm glad. I don't like watching satanic rituals. Okay, it wasn't. I don't know. The story was missing some things, but that stuff doesn't bother me. I don't like if I'm making a movie or telling a story or something like that, especially making a film. I don't like giving all the stuff there. I like making the audience do some of the work. Now, for this film about Satanism, your average moviegoer is not going to go, is not going to know about rituals and summoning and sending demons. None of that is in the movie, by the way. But the guy, the main serial killer in the movie, is a Satanist. And he's kind of a generic Satanist. It's not how you would think of a generational or a Luciferian or Illuminati dude being. So, but anyway, that's what I got. That's my initial thoughts. Is it worth the time? Good question. Yeah, I didn't walk out feeling like I was totally ripped off. Okay, but mostly because I was spending time with my daughter and an opened up conversation with her. So that's what I was looking for more than anything in this movie. It didn't totally suck, but I didn't think it was very creative. And there's kind of a twist in it, but it wasn't, in my opinion, it wasn't very creative. So yeah. Anyway, I hate to endorse it. I hate to endorse anything from Hollywood. This is, I don't know. It is what it is. So, guys, I appreciate you so much, and I look forward to seeing anybody that's able to make it tomorrow night. Thanks for the thumbs up. Thanks for the subscriptions. Thank you for the prayers. Thank you for the support. Everything that you guys do, it means the world to me. So we will see you guys tomorrow night, hopefully. And if not tomorrow night, then hopefully you'll catch us in the archives. But God bless and good night.